Welcome to the World of Horror podcast with Mom and Mac. I'm Mom.
And I'm Mac.
This is the podcast where we share our love of international horror. Everyone has their fears, but we are not afraid of subtitles. Disclaimers for adult language and spoilers. Hi, Mac. How's it going?
Hi, Mom. It's going. You know, so Friday, we had the day off, and I got up early to go to CrossFit. But you know how they always say, like, go work out, like, you'll feel better for it? That's not always true. Like, I didn't regret going, but it was so hot. It was pouring down rain. And afterwards, I just was like, I don't feel good. Like, just felt gross. And I just lowered I just did the easiest thing that was possible that day. And when I talked to the coach after, she was like, how are you? And I was like, I don't know. I just don't feel good. And she was like, yeah, it's hot. And then I drove home soaked. And I don't know. I just felt like so tired the whole day. But again, I'm still glad I did it. But I don't know. Just feeling kind of tired this week. It's also my fault because I'm going to bed really late. So that's definitely why.
Oh, yeah. I've been going to bed. I love summer. I hate summer, but I go to bed at 9 and then I wake up at 4 and I love that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's great. I get a bunch of stuff done and then I can take a little nap at like 10 and it's fine because I've already done a ton of stuff.
Yeah. I feel like it'd be nice to be up that early. Like nobody's awake yet. It's like your time, but you've also already slept. So it's not like you're putting off sleep.
Yeah. So I don't wake up that same time every day, but when I do, it's the best. If I wake up at like 7:30, I'm like, half the day is gone.
That's crazy. When I wake up at like noon, that's when I feel that way.
Yeah, I know. That's reasonable. I know. I am firmly in my old age phase now.
Good for you.
Yeah.
We should all be so lucky, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. Beats the alternative.
That's true. Something else that's good is that it is Love Island season. WoHos, if you don't know, now you know. I am the biggest fan of Love Island. I don't know if that would be surprising, but I love it. I haven't watched every season, but I started with Love Island UK, and now I'm on Love Island US because I don't feel like getting Hulu. And man, I love the mess. Now, I don't agree with it morally. And then you might think like, well, you're watching it. Yeah, I am. I do think it shouldn't exist probably, but it does. I can't stop it. And if they asked me to work there, would I say yes? Yeah, I would. Genuinely, Love Island and Survivor, first off, to say like, well, I would never be on Love Island. Buddy, you're not getting asked. But I would never be on either, but I would love to work on both. I just think, I don't know. I could do like a recap show or something. Like a lot of my friends, when I hang out with them, they don't watch Love Island, and then the whole convo. And I just want to preface, it's not me making them sit there. They'll ask me what's going on in Love Island, and I tell them everything. And then they go, I'm not going to watch, but tell me next time what happened. Maybe it's like a, hey, grandpa, tell me about the war kind of thing. But they seem genuinely interested.
No, I bet they're really interested. I looked at it and I'm like, I don't think I'm a Love Island person.
That's fair.
Yeah.
When you asked me if you could start watching, my thought was it would be great. We would definitely have a lot to talk about, but I I'm 90% sure you won't watch it, but I was at peace with it because my friend Minermal and I were talking about it because I had mentioned, I was like, oh, my mom asked me, you know, if she should watch the prior seasons, but I don't think she'll like it if she starts watching it. And she was like, I think it's like, we didn't know how to put it, but there's just something about it that I do feel like I could see myself. I don't know. I feel like I already feel kind of old watching it because there's two contestants that were born in 96. So, but they're treated like grandpas. Like one of the girls said to a guy born in November 96, so he's not even 30 yet. She said, well, you're aging really well. That killed me. I grabbed Alan's hand and was just like, what does she mean aging? He looks young because he's young.
Oh no.
So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think you would be like, wow, these people are, I don't mean to be, I enjoy them. You do have to, I think, be a certain kind of psycho to even want to be on the show. So They just say some things that are just like, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched about a minute and a half. So I gave it a fair shake.
Yeah, you gave it a fair shake.
It's like, no. But I do that with a lot of shows. I'll do that with like some old crusty mystery show or something like that. I'll be like, nope.
I'm good.
So yeah, I tend to sometimes I make up my mind really fast.
It's a time commitment too, so.
I know you said that too. So it's on like 5 days a week and then they have other shows on top of that.
Yeah. If you like it, you're like, yay. Like the one day it's not on, I'm like, what am I doing tonight? Like I've got nothing to do.
Is Survivor like that or anything else?
I think Big Brother is like that, but Survivor is just once a week. Like how God intended.
Yeah, right. Well, I just got done with a show, so now I need a new show. But I have one, I think it comes on Fridays, but it's so hard to watch something week to week.
Right?
Mm-hmm. It is.
You're just like fiending for more.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I should try to find my lists of movies, all the movies I was going to watch, So.
Or find like a multi-season show that's already done.
Right. Yeah. That would be a good idea. Yeah. So I'm on the lookout. So WoHos, if you have any advice, get in touch.
For some summer watches.
Because sometimes I'll just be on the couch and I'll just listen to a podcast and I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird. Like it's just an audio podcast. But I used to listen to the radio, so I don't think it's all that weird.
I don't think it's weird. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I just sit and listen to my audiobook if it's really good and I got nothing to do.
Okay. Yeah, that makes me feel better. I've done that too. Just listen to an audiobook.
In fact, I think that speaks to having the ability to sit and relax. I don't think that is something that comes easy to very many people. So,
yeah. It's just that usually I'm doing something else when I'm listening to a podcast or an audiobook, like I'm taking a walk or I'm cleaning my kitchen or something like that. So just to sit and do nothing, it just seems a little weird, but
who sits and does nothing? Apes in the zoo.
That's what?
Because I'm thinking like, sometimes do you ever look at like an ape or like a chimp and do you ever think like that's how we should be?
Yeah.
Like, why am I thinking about like life and death right now? I just kind of want to be like sitting with my hands folded, enjoying the breeze like they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good point.
So you're doing it like halfway.
Yeah. I don't think I can go through life without listening to anything.
Same.
Although there was one day I just walked out of my house without my headphones. Like I usually just put my earbuds on before I'm ready to go. I just walked out of the house. I forgot. So I was just like, oh, I guess I'm just me, in nature today. Um, weird.
That's beautiful.
It was actually. It was very nice. I don't think I'd want to do it every day, but it was very nice every once in a while just to be just, solo.
Yeah, enjoying
I don't want to say raw dog. I think it's so
free balling.
gross. Oh, come on.
Raw dogging is crazy. That's too much.
I know. These like millennial podcasters I listened to, they kept using it, and like one of them was just like, no. That's the way I feel when I hear it.
There was this trend where young people would like set a timer and sit in silence, and they'd be like, raw dogging boredom to get rid of my dopamine like addiction or something like that. Which, I mean, the concept I think is great. You grew up with a phone, I sometimes look at my screen time. Every Sunday, my phone likes to tell me like, oh, this is your daily screen time. And I go, oh my God, I need help. And so I think it's a good idea, but the phrasing of it, I could do without.
Me too.
My screen time is like, and I mean, I'm not even counting, I don't know my like PC screen time, but my phone screen time on like a good week is like 3 hours a day. And then a bad week, it's like 4 hours. And I said this to my optometrist and she goes, oh, that's really good.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't think that's bad at all.
But I would like it to be like 1,
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I think that would take a lot of discipline to get it down to 1 hour a day.
I don't know how to do that.
I'm completely addicted. It's really a problem.
What is yours?
I don't want to say.
Oh, you don't have to.
But that one time, and it was one time literally, that I went 24 hours without my phone. I was just like, well, maybe I could just listen to a podcast. It's like, nope, I said without my phone, maybe music. Nope.
Can't do that.
Without my phone. So I don't, it's not like I'm playing games or something for all that time. I'm listening to podcasts and audiobooks and music and, but I rely on it I read books on it also. So I use it for a lot of things, not just doom scrolling.
I believe you. The one day that my internet went out, I really was like, I need to take a good hard look at myself because I was like, what do I do? I've got nothing to do.
Yeah, I know.
I felt bad.
That's like when the power goes out or something like that. It just really is like a wake-up call.
Yeah. I try to think about stuff like that with like I really hate my apartment. And I mean, I would rather live in a house. And I had to delete Zillow because I was like, okay, if I'm not going to get a house soon, I got to stop torturing myself by looking at ones that I would like. But I like redecorated my office to like feel something. And then I also was thinking like, man, I think it's tough because in America, and I mean, a lot of countries, obviously, but I'm just thinking about America specifically, like the disparity and the levels to wealth are so crazy to where I know that logically I should be happy because this is so much more than like a 2-bedroom apartment is like so much more than some people ever get the chance to have. But I'm comparing myself to people that I know personally that have like 5-bedroom houses. And I'm like, that's what I want. And, yeah, it's just crazy that it's like, and then even those friends that have like a 5-bedroom house, that's not even like the top of like wealth. Like it's It's just weird to think about.
Mm-hmm. 5 bedrooms is a lot for two people.
It is. Their house is so nice though, and every time I'm over there, I have to like really work on the envious part of my soul because I'm just like so happy for you. So happy for you. You got this beautiful fucking house.
Well, then you gotta
May all
like
good things come
hire
to you.
people, gardeners and like people to like clean it and maintain it. And, it's just a lot.
It is. Like, and I wouldn't want that big of a house, like, you know, but it's so beautiful that I'm just like, this is great. Love to go
Yeah.
back to my shitty fucking apartment.
Well, it's good to start thinking about what you do want, though, because that way you
True.
can just look for, within your parameters.
Screened in porch and or sunroom. That's a non-negotiable. I need one or the other. And 1.5 bathrooms.
Yeah, one bathroom is crazy.
For 2 people, that's like, we used to live in an apartment or a place that had 1 bathroom. You know how hard it is to debate on who gets to have the toilet first? Like, that's
Yeah.
disgusting. You don't ever want to go through that. So,
No.
yeah, and I want a bath that's like specifically just a bath, no showering in this bath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I live alone, but even like one bathroom would not be enough for me if I ever have anybody else over, you
Yeah.
know? So, yeah, I know. It's just not enough.
No.
One toilet.
And you can't put 2 toilets in one bathroom.
The people in these movies, there was a toilet in the second one, but nobody used it.
That's a good point. And they actually never addressed the lack of toilet. They only addressed it in one scene in the first movie, but I think that was a really important thing to think about.
Yeah, me too. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that part. I don't think it's in
But
my notes.
they treated him like he was some kind of psycho. And it's like, does everybody here not have to pee?
Yeah, I know.
I pee every 2 seconds. Like, I'd be like, sorry, guys, kill me then. I'm going in the corner again.
Well, it's not in my notes, WoHos, but just understand there is a scene that involves somebody going to the bathroom in the corner. So this week, WoHos, we're doing what I'm calling puzzle horror films. Because I heard somebody talking about classic Canadian horror films, and I didn't realize that Cube was one of those. And it reminded me of Saw. So our first film is Cube. Here's a short plot summary from IMDb. A group of strangers awaken to find themselves placed in a giant cube. Each one of them is gifted with a special skill, and they must work together to escape an endless maze of deadly traps.
That's such a funny description because when we get into the plot, I have a question about what like one guy's skill is.
This was directed by Vincenzo Natali, written by Andre Bajelic, Graham Manson, and Vincenzo Natali, starring Nicole DeBoer, Nikki Guadagni, David Hewlett, Andrew Miller, Julian Richings. For a minute,
Yeah.
Wayne Robson and Maurice Dean Wint. Cinematography by Derek Rogers, edited by John Sanders, music by Mark Corvin. The release dates were the 9th of September 1997 at TIFF and the 11th of September 1998 in the US. It has a running time of 90 minutes. How did you feel about this runtime, Mac?
So crazy how sometimes 90 minutes can feel like hours. When you're just waiting, you keep pausing and you go, really? 50 minutes, really? 30 minutes? Oh, there's still 20 minutes? I did a lot of pausing in this movie and going like, no.
I paused both of these a lot to take notes. But for this one, let's just describe what the cube looks like. Because my notes just say opening scene where guy Julian Richings explores the cube and gets cubed.
Gets cubed is so funny. Well, he does.
He does. You can't deny that.
And they never find him. That would be a good callback to the beginning if at any point they're like, what's up with this pile of flesh on the ground?
Well, there's another red herring where somebody makes his entrance and he's got bloody hands. And I'm like, why?
Where did that? Yeah, I thought about that too. I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
But
that's never addressed.
Maybe it's foreshadowing?
Well,
is that the psycho cop?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, maybe he killed somebody already.
One would guess, but who?
Good point. And if you're watching it, you're not like, you are just wondering like, oh, are they going to show? Oh, no. Okay. But okay, the cube, they do have a cool little mechanical door doohickey. Like they have to turn a knob and then it's like, and like it, moves down, and then they've got a little tunnel and then the next cube. Some of them have colored walls.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of look like, they got dots and lines on the wall. And, how did the platform, which takes place in like a concrete, like just slab, somehow have a more interesting background than this movie?
Good question. Great question. And then one thing I thought was cool before we get into the plot to know is they only had one room. They only had one door.
That does make sense. I do think that's pretty apparent as you go through the movie, is you are just like, wow, they really only made one door, huh? So just a lot of clever camera work to be like, oh, they turned it upside down now. Oh.
Now I have to say, WoHos, when you get to be older, your memory plays tricks with you. And I could have sworn this came out in like 92 or something like that. But it didn't. It came out in the late 90s after Mac was born.
True. I was just a baby.
So that means I must have watched it with Mac's dad, which I have no memory of.
But you have seen it before.
I have seen it before. Yes. I think I've seen both of these once before.
I think I've somehow seen both multiple times. I've seen a lot of Cube movies, and this movie, it was one of those things where you know kind of what's going to happen next, but you also don't. Like you kind of forgot. And I was stunned because I went into this thinking, well, I know this is a good movie, so I'm excited. And then I was like, did I know that? Like, did I think that at some point? That's crazy.
Well, the first scene before the title card is Julian Richings, a young Julian Richings, in one of the rooms, and he walks forward into a razor mesh setup, and this thing cubes him, turns him into meat cubes.
And I don't think that's how, I mean, okay, I know I don't want to be that guy that's like, I don't think that's how that works. But quite literally, I do think you would immediately be like, like you would like, if you walk into how razor thin are these wires that he walks fully through and then he's like, I've been cubed, and then gets cubed. I know it's a movie, but it kind of sets off a tone of just like, what the fuck?
Well, we have our cast of strangers who wake up in a cube. We have Wren, the bird of Alcatraz. We have Quentin. Well, Quentin makes an entry, and so does Worth. But Levin and Holloway are in the cube with Wren, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, they all end up together in the same place. And I think it doesn't matter. The first cube, I think, is white, but the colors don't have anything to do with anything. But there are different colored rooms. And Ren does not last very long at all. As soon as his identity is discovered, well, he's pretty clever. They're all wearing the same getup, and they all have combat boots. And his strategy is to fling, not cowboy boots,
It's like combat boots.
Yeah. Cowboy boots would not work. But he slings the combat boot by the shoelace into the room to see if there are any traps that'll be tripped. And because they don't know which rooms are safe and which ones are full of traps. And so this works pretty well until it doesn't. And Ren gets acid to the face and he is taken out.
And it's so funny because this is right after, like, because they're all like arguing, like, what is even going on? Like, what are we? Who are you? Who am I? And he's just like, don't look at, like, he's like, it is a great shot of him kind of like in the in between tunnel part. And he's kind of like bunched up and he's like, gotta look at what's right in front of you. Like, don't look at the big picture. Just figure out. And we go through, and then he goes through, and then he gets acid to the face.
Yeah, not before saying merde.
Yeah.
So, but he had escaped from like 6, like maximum. 7 maximum security prisons. So he should have been the leader of this troop.
This is where it all starts to go wrong, you could say.
Well, they are wondering about the reason why they're there. They figure there must be a reason. We've got a cop. We've got a doctor. We've got a math student. And I think that's all we know.
And what's his name? Worth, he says he's just like an office nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
Again, I didn't quite remember what happened in this movie, but the attitude of this guy Worth, it reminds me a lot of like the 90s, early 2000s. And I'm not saying this character still exists today, but they were so prevalent. It's like white, young guy who is so nihilistic. And even though he's giving us nothing, that somehow, in a way, he's the hero. That shit pisses me off. I hate that. And so when I saw him, I hated him. But I hated all of them, honestly. I thought they were all... I don't know why I just... Watching this, I was like, I can't stand any of these people. Like, the girl, Levin, she's so annoying. Like, she's both parts like a whiny baby and also kind of a bitch, and for no reason. She's very pretty, but I feel like that's the only reason why she was cast. And it to be like, this pretty girl is a math student, I think we were supposed to think that. Which is like, well, yeah, I do think women can be smart. So not a huge surprise to me. And then Quentin, the cop, so obviously not not Canadian. Just like in the next movie, this is one thing they both also have in common. This theme could have been British people with bad non-British accents, because I could just tell this guy was British. Yeah, I don't know. In a way, he was my favorite. I thought he was the most interesting character.
Did it bother you at all that the only person of color was extremely violent?
Yes, I was going to bring that up. Yeah, the only black character, is extremely violent, extremely volatile, can't be trusted. Like a lot
Not
of
good.
violent things happen to him. I mean, just kind of whack.
Mm-hmm.
And he's
Definitely.
just, I think he's very interesting up to a point where then he's just evil.
Right. Yeah. Well, he says that his kids give him strength, so they're all going to have to find something that does that for them. And then they're kind of just looking for clues. Like Holloway, the doctor, they took all of her jewelry, but they left Levin her glasses. This is never brought up again. But Levin starts to look at these numbers that are on the entryway to each room, and she thinks that if they are prime numbers, they're full of traps. But if there are no prime numbers, then the room is safe. And then we meet Kazan, who
Oh
is,
boy.
I guess, an autistic savant.
It's like all the word, like, first they just say, like, oh, he's mentally handicapped. And then you just know it's coming. You can smell it cooking because they're all looking at him like he's worthless, except for Holloway, who's
Mm-hmm.
being nice to him. But even Levin, who at this point I actually thought was kind of likable because I think she had a reaction I would have, which is just like, I don't want to be here. Like, what's going on? Like, I think I'd be like that. Out of nowhere, she's just like a giant bitch to this guy. Like, this
Yes.
guy who has really done nothing wrong. Like, and if anything, I think if you're a normal human being, you'd feel like pity towards this guy. Cause I'm not saying this is how like an autistic person would be in real life. I'm not saying it's a good depiction, but just in the context of this movie, I think if you saw this guy who clearly did not really know what was going on and seemed to be in a lot of distress, you'd be like, I feel for this guy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
let's help him. But only Holloway really is willing to help him. And
Yes.
everybody else kind of treats him like he's just some idiot. And I don't know. It immediately makes them all unlikable too, to where I think it would make sense for Quentin, who's a really like, the weak. We got to separate out the weak. Like I think there's a guy like that who exists in the world, but everybody else, it's like, why are you being so mean to this guy?
Yeah. Yeah. It was really a shame. But he's pretty much nonverbal. He just says he doesn't like red rooms. And he is kind of like he's got this tick, this physical tick. And that's all we know about him. And so let's see. Holloway suspects that the military is behind this creation, but Quentin thinks it's some rich guy's entertainment. And he ends up in one of the rooms, and all of these wires encircle him, but he somersaults to freedom, not before he injures his leg. And so
But after two
Holloway,
seconds, it like never comes up again.
that's right, that never comes up again either. But Holloway takes care of him after that. Let's see. Quentin thinks that Worth knows more than he is letting on, and they get into this fight because Worth yells out, "There, there is no way out of here."
This scene was so funny to me because I get that the audience is supposed to think, how would he know that? But that actually seems like a pretty reasonable thing to say. But it's like they all know because this was written in their characters that they're like, this means that you know something. But I think if I heard somebody say that, I'd be like, oh, he feels like life is hopeless or something. But it's so, the energy changes and everybody's like, wait, how would you know that? It'd be so much more interesting if he was like, we're in a giant cube. I don't know. Like if he gave some info that was actually like, how would you know that?
Yeah. Well, we find out that Worth was hired to design the shell, and Holloway thinks it's a conspiracy. But Worth says, no, there's no one in charge. And I didn't understand this. He said that they put people inside the cube to prove that it isn't pointless.
So, in a way, I felt like I understood what they were talking about, but the execution of this whole movie is bad. But, like, in a sense, I get that when I think of the company I work for, they have put so much money into creating their own like AI search tools, and it's stupid and nobody wants to use them, and it has not increased productivity at all, but they've already spent so much money. They just keep forcing it on us because it's like, well, we have to prove that this wasn't a huge, dumb, stupid thing to do. And so literally somebody in a meeting typed in the Q&A, why do you keep shoving this down our throats?
Oh my God.
I was like, wow, you're my hero. So I think that's what they're saying. It's that idea. But in the context of the movie, it's like, yeah, but okay, but why? What purpose does the cube serve?
Right. And then Quentin punches on Worth some. That's what I wrote in my notes.
He hates this guy.
Levin thinks there are 17,756 rooms and that the numbers on the doors are Cartesian coordinates. Okay. It's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo to me. So it's fine.
The scenes are so like, she'll explain what it is. And like, you could write the dialogue yourself. Somebody goes, slowly in English, please. Like, I just was like, it's the most like, he's right behind me, isn't he? Dialogue ever. And one really small nitpicky thing I had, which this is so dumb, but I was already, I guess, in like 5 minutes in, I guess I was in a bad mood. One of the first non-prime numbers, she states, like the actress is thinking and she goes like a word kind of like 285. Well, that's not prime. Okay, that just got me because it's like, well, if there's a 5 in it, if she's a mathematician, anything with a 5 is divisible by 5. So like she wouldn't have to think about that one.
Right.
That got me. I was like, you wouldn't have to think about it. It's divisible by 5. Sorry.
I am so math illiterate. I just, this whole section where she was trying to explain this stuff, I was just like, you could tell me anything because I wouldn't know the difference. They find a sound activated room and Quentin wants to try to cross it and he wants to leave Kazan behind. Now Worth gets on board the Kazan train and he says he will be quiet. Now I zoned out. So I know they all get through the room except for Quentin. He's the last one, I should say. It's just a lot of suspense. They have to make sure that they don't trip anything in the room at all. So they have to be completely silent, which I don't think that's possible. And I think Worth was the first one through and he opened the hatch on the other side, which I think would be loud enough to activate the sensors.
Well, they did say that the door doesn't make the sound go off. Like it's programmed so that the door sound doesn't do it.
Okay. Oh, that's convenient. Okay. So everybody gets all the way through. And then Quentin is almost all the way through and Kazan goes, ha! Because he's like so excited that it's like going to happen, that they've already made it through. But Quentin hadn't made it all the way through. So he had to do this sort of acrobatic move and like jump through the door. Was there anything else that happened during that scene?
I mean, there is a moment where Kazan and Holloway are going in together and he kind of gets, because I guess he's like a robot human. That's how they're portraying him. His like the bottom of his pants gets stuck on one of the levers.
Right.
And so there's a moment where it's almost like, oh, is he going to say something? And I did like the tension of the scene, though. I hate that it's predicated on the idea of like, look at this fucking guy ruining it for everybody with his disability. Like, you're just supposed to think this guy. I think that as the viewer, you're supposed to not like Kazan either. Like, I feel like the idea is supposed to be like, look at the predicament he's putting them in. When if we're human, we should know that no, it would be incredibly fucked up to leave this guy behind. Like, it's not, it doesn't make you a bleeding heart to be like, no, let's like save our fellow man. But I think the movie is supposed to genuinely make you think like, okay, if you want to take a chance on him, and then it's almost like you're proven right, or the movie is proving it right of like, I think it would, I don't know. I hate his whole character, and it just feels so outdated.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Quentin and Holloway get into a fight, and he says something like that he spends his days cleaning up her bleeding heart, and she calls him a Nazi.
That was crazy. He goes, a Nazi?
Remember when that used to be like a really bad insult?
Now it just could be kind of true.
So he says she's all dried up. And then also I was like, what if, like, he's sort of suggesting that she's past her prime and no man would want her. And I'm just like, well, rude. But also, is it conceivable that she's queer at all? Or
could be.
I mean, I don't know. It just seemed like that was not a consideration at all. And then she says it's no wonder that his wife left him. And then, did he have a thing for young girls on the outside? What? And he slaps her across the face.
It's like, he is weird though with Levin. Like, there's moments where he like grabs her. And so I don't think it's that off to say you are inappropriate towards women. Though I did think I guess it'll sound crazy. In a way, I still do like his character up to this point, because I think he's a good, source of conflict. Though now I'm wondering, from the earlier IMDb thing, what is his purpose? Like, what is he only there to be the heel?
Yeah. I think so, after a certain point. But he's the muscle, I think.
Yeah.
So I think that's his special talent.
He can, climb.
He's sort of a leader, but I mean, he's not a great one, because, he wants to leave people behind. And I didn't think there was anything that weird with Levin at this point. But then in the next scene, I think there's a definite problem with him and Levin. But he slaps Holloway across the face, and then she asks, did he beat his boys too?
She's just laying it on there, which, listen, hey, I'm not saying this guy's likable, but
yeah,
I did think as a viewer, I was like, he is in a way in the right to hate her guts. Like, she is kind of poking at like the most sensitive things. And I mean, I guess his face is supposed to convey to us like maybe he does, and like he's feeling, but for the scene that comes later, I didn't think it was totally crazy for his reaction. I wouldn't poke the bear is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, they think they found the outer shell, and they need someone to swing somehow outside the door and find another door. And it's Holloway's turn to do the exploring. So they make this huge long rope of clothes, of everybody's clothes, and they wrap them around her, and she swings, and she can't get all the way across the chasm.
Because like the cube also starts shifting. So then they have to drop the rope. But like Quentin catches it.
Yes. And then he pulls her up.
This is my favorite scene, I think. I think this is the most interesting scene in the movie.
She is holding onto his arm, and she's just like, she's looking at him like, oh my God, it's a miracle that you've saved me. And he looks at her, and then his expression changes, and she's like, oh shit. And he drops her to her death.
Okay, I'm not saying that was the right thing to do. But I did think at that point, I was like, he's my favorite character, not because she deserved it, but I thought that was funny. And I thought that was interesting. But he did not sell it in any way. He should have been like, oh no, wink, and then dropped her. But he just silently drops her and then like goes back to everyone else. And it's just like, she fell. Yeah. So of course they're all like, oh, you dropped her.
And that makes sense with all this shit that she was saying to him. But anyway, they sleep. And now this is where we get creepo Quentin, because Worth is the only one who has a boot left. And he takes Worth's boot, and then he scoops up Levin in his arms, and he takes her into this other room. And I wrote, ew, attempted SA, because he's just like, we fit together so nicely, you know, the key goes in the lock, and I'm just like, oh no. Whoa. Hold on, buddy.
It's just so gross. Like, yeah. I think this whole movie is playing on, like, okay, I'm not saying a film or a story can't play on assumed stereotypes that the audience might have, but it's also another thing to play on that and then not subvert them in any way, and then you're just doing it. Like,
yes,
we're not supposed to be like, oh, you know, characters like this are usually depicted this way. It's like, well, no, he just is. It's like, he is a black man who is aggressive, attempts to assault a young white woman, like, is too emotional, too volatile. It just feels like very, like, it's like hard to racist. Watch almost. Yeah.
Yeah. So Worth thwarts Quentin. And
this white man, he saves the day. He's such a good guy.
Right. He tells Levin that Worth and Kazan are traps, and that he and she are the keys. And he also says that Holloway had inside information on his family, but she crossed the line. So he just looks completely insane with that line read. And it's like, what? And then Levin puts it together that Quentin dropped Holloway. And then something happened. And then Quentin beats Worth with the boot and just like shoves him into a room. And in that room is Ren.
So they made it all the way back around.
That's right. So I don't know why he beats up Worth. I guess Worth just said the wrong thing. But I thought he was going to kill him with that boot.
Yeah, he was just like, and nobody, like, like Levin and Kazan just kind of like, they watch with like not enough horror on their face, I think.
Yeah, it's sort of like, well, we knew this was going to happen at some point. Quentin has a crash out, but Worth realizes that they haven't been moving in circles. The rooms have. Okay. What? So Levin realizes that one of the rooms is a bridge to the outside of the cube. And this goes back to something she said before, where there were like 26 permutations, but this one room had 27. And in the numbers, I don't know. I trust her because I have no way of knowing what she's talking about. But anyway, that one extra permutation means that that room is a bridge to the outside of the cube. Okay, great. But she also realizes that the numbers on the doors are not prime numbers. They are factors of prime numbers. Again, I'm like, I don't even know what that means. She can't figure them out without a computer, but Kazan can.
Okay, so guys, don't worry. This shit pisses me off, man. Like, and it's WoHos, write for yourself the most like stereotypical awful way they could depict an autistic savant, and like there you wrote the scene, because they're like, how do we do it, and then he's like on the ground seemingly not paying attention, and he goes like 2, and they're like, wait, what was that? 2, and then she tests it by giving him like a known one that she has, and she's like, we can use him. Oh, he does have a use after all. Fuck off, man. It's so messed up.
Well, now the lines are drawn, though, and they really want to kill Quentin. So they try to, like, smush him in one of the door hatches. That doesn't work. But they use the force of his own body, and he, like, falls to the floor in one of the rooms, and he splats, and he's dead. Or is he? Put a pin.
I mean, he's
that.
bleeding from the head, so you'd think
you would think. Kazan hesitates, and his room moves. This is kind of worthless. This whole section, and I think it's pretty unrealistic that Worth goes back for him and saves him. Like, how did Worth know how to go back through that exact combination and get to where he was? But that's okay. So he saves him, and Levin realizes that the room she is in takes them to the bridge. And how she knows that is a piece of her glasses was in the floor of that room. So she's been in that room before.
Oh.
So the room slides down to the floor like a big, huge elevator. And they realize that they're in the room they started in. So she's like, so I was right all along when I said that we should just stay put way back at the beginning of this movie. So they go through a red room, which Kazan has said he doesn't like. And they open the door to sunlight. Just this bright light is shining through. But now Worth says he has nothing to live for out there.
Bro.
11 asks, what is out there? And he says, endless human stupidity.
Man, leave this guy. You walk out.
11 says she can live with that. But then is stabbed by Quentin.
Bruh.
He has broken off one of those twisty hatch handles, and he stabs her through the chest with it.
How strong is this guy?
I know. It would take like superhuman strength. It's not reasonable, especially because he's bleeding with a near fatal blow to the head.
And he's got that slash on his leg that we all forgot about.
That's right. Worth attacks Quentin. Quentin stabs Worth. Kazan makes it into the sunlight. Quentin gets halfway through the door, but then Worth holds onto him, and when the room moves, Quentin is squished. Worth ends up with the dead Levin, and Kazan makes it out.
And we're all happy that it's over. Now, I think I did watch Cube 2 Hypercube. First off, greatest name for a sequel ever. And I do think I liked that movie. Though, again, now I can't trust myself because I thought I liked this one too. So maybe that one's even more offensive than this one.
Who's to say? I'm not watching it.
Probably don't.
Well, here's some trivia. The Twilight Zone episode 5 Characters in Search of an Exit, Season 3, Episode 14, was supposedly an inspiration for this movie. Not only are the characters named after prisons, but they reflect the prisons themselves. For example, Kazan, the mentally challenged character in Russia was a prison for the mentally ill.
Bruh.
Ren, the mentor, is a French jail that pioneered many of today's prison policies. Quentin, the detective, is known for its brutality.
Holloway just being a women's prison. She's a woman. We don't have anything else.
And Alderson is a prison where isolation is a common punishment. Alderson? Who's Alderson?
Is that the first guy?
Oh, must be. Leavenworth runs to a rigid set of rules, Levin's mathematics, and the new prison is corporately owned and built. Worth hired as an architect. That's a bit of a stretch.
You know that they were like, ooh, like, here's a little Easter egg. Fuck off.
Briefly, what does Letterboxd have to say about it? Film buyer by E gave it a half star, straight up ass.
True.
Bogosa gave it a half star. Terrible acting from start to finish. I've never cringed this hard at a performance. Most painful watch ever. Shrimp gave it a half star. I was asleep through it, but I heard it sucked even after I slept. Alley Cat 3 gave it 5 stars. The real horror is being trapped anywhere with a cop.
True.
Bosmo gave it 5 stars. I met the guy who gets sliced in the opening scene once at a YMCA in Toronto. He was very humble and kind. Canadian classic. Super impressive. Low budget production.
I love that. And it's like, I do love that actor. Your review, half of it is just like this one guy that was in the movie for 5 seconds. He's pretty chill in real life. That's not, he can't, it's a cool fact, but that does not make this a classic.
Tommy Salami 2015 gave it 5 stars. Everyone else is wrong. This is the worst. Sorry. Everyone else is wrong. This is the best, worst shit ever made.
Now, was Tommy Salami perhaps born in 2015? So then maybe they can be forgiven for this review.
Born in 2015? They're 11 years old?
Maybe, listen, again, at some point I thought this movie was good somehow, I think. And, you know, maybe with age, Tommy Salami will rethink this.
Maybe so. Well, that was Cube. Do you want to take a break?
We should rate it.
Oh, no. I just want to move on. How would we rate it?
In cubes. 1 cube.
1 cube.
1 whole cube.
All right. I think I'm going to have to change my policy. It used to be that 3 was the lowest you could get unless you were in like incredibly racist, which this one is. So I guess I can go below the 3 mark and give it a 2.
Well, what would be a 1 for you?
I know, that's what I mean. So maybe I have to change it so that there's room to go even lower.
Yeah.
I guess racist and really badly made also. Something like that. But I'm in the process, WoHos, of changing my judging strategy here. But I'll give this one 2 cubes.
Okay, 2 cubes.
What have we learned?
I'm at a loss. Don't move. If you find yourself in a room, don't try. That might just be the way out.
Yeah. Don't try.
Don't try anything.
Life will come around.
Yeah, like a cube.
Like a rotating cube. Women can be pretty and smart. And assholes.
What?
all at the
But
same
once
time.
they reach a certain age, dried up, useless.
That's right. All women are straight.
White men will save you.
That's right.
Me when I lie. And hey, don't kill the autistic person. They might be really good at math.
Yeah. It might be a Rudolph the Reindeer situation where they'll come in handy in a pinch.
It really was Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Is this a remake? It's a reboot.
Would we watch it again?
Hell no.
Favorite scene and or kill?
The very first one.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. And I was excited to see him. I was like, hey, I love that guy. Oh. He's gone.
He's cubed.
He's been cubed.
All I remembered was that scene and the last scene where the autistic guy walks out into the sunlight. That's it.
Yeah.
Now, I used to drink really heavily, so it could have been the case that, I blacked out through like most of the film. That's not inconceivable. Who wins the You Fool award?
I guess Quentin?
But Holloway, too.
Yeah, she trusted the thing is she didn't even trust him. I don't know. Yeah, she just shouldn't have gone down there. Levin, he wouldn't have dropped Levin. So
that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can help it, the message is, if you can help it, don't willingly put yourself in a vulnerable position in the hands of a known whack job.
That's right. Yeah. That's pretty good advice, I think, in general.
Yeah. He might drop you.
He might. So that was Cube.
Yay!
Oh, we did it.
Want to take a little break?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Well, WoHos, our next movie is Saw 1. Now, real quick, I just want to give a little bit of my own life experience with Saw. I feel like this was important, this series, to my introduction to horror, because for me growing up, these movies were like a fact of everyday life. Felt like every day a new one was coming out, and they all started coming out before I was of the age to watch them. But also, when YouTube came out, there used to be a Prime type of video, which still exists now, that I also believe was contributed to me enjoying horror, which was videos that were just like most disturbing scenes from X, and I used to watch that stuff all the time as a kid. Like, most disturbing anime scene. I sometimes would just watch sit there like in silence, just like watching it. And I remember, I think my mom will laugh, I remember asking her, Mom, can I watch the Saw movies? And she said, no, you are too young. And so I watched all death scenes on YouTube.
But then you told me that you did that.
I can never keep a secret. I was like, gotta let you know I did totally not follow what you said.
Well, technically, you didn't watch the movie. But I don't. Do you remember how old you were? Well, Saw was 2004. So
I definitely remember you were working at Oxford because I did it while you were at work. I was like in the side room watching on my laptop.
Oh my gosh. Now, I didn't work at Oxford University, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
I worked at a tutoring center named Oxford, which I don't think it's called that anymore. But anyway, just to clear that up.
When you were a professor at Oxford Learning, I was in the back of the class.
That's crazy that you did that.
I remember telling you, like, it's not even a big deal. Like, it wasn't even that bad.
Yeah, which, to be fair, I think I sort of, unfairly maligned this film. I mean, I just like saw the poster or like heard the rumors about it, and I just assumed it was torture porn, and it really isn't.
Well, I do have to say, I watched the scenes from the subsequent movies, and that is torture porn.
Okay.
So you weren't wrong.
I just remember thinking, okay, well, it's all over. Like, a kid who has internet access can see anything.
It's true. And it's even worse now. Like, I feel like it's so, the internet's so weird because I do mourn people and myself who don't get to have early internet because it was just a different, I think, more pure time. That also meant if you knew where to look, which I didn't, but if you knew where to look, you could find more heinous things. Obviously, you can still find them today, but it's like Reddit, for example, had heinous things on their site, easily accessible. But now I think they try to like not have that. But anyways, you can still, but I think crazy, upsetting stuff more so will randomly come on. You're like, you won't be looking for it. And if you're on like a site like Twitter and or X, you might just be forced to see it. But anyway, so yeah, that's Saw, my experience with Saw. And like Cube, I looked back fondly on this film, and now I don't know how that ever could have happened. Unfortunately for me, now I do own it because Amazon was like, you could rent it for $3.99 or you could buy it for $4.99. And I said, well, it's only $1 more. I regret it. I don't want to watch this shit again.
Where did I watch it? I watched it on Netflix. Do you not have Netflix?
I do. What the heck? I Googled like where to watch and it was like, well, you got to rent it on Amazon. I have Netflix, man. Well, now I own it. So good for me. Saw. Here is the short plot summary from IMDb. Two men awaken to find themselves on the opposite sides of a dead body, each with specific instructions to kill the other, escape, or face the consequences. These two are the latest contestants in Jigsaw's games. It was directed by James Wan of James Wan fame, very famous man. It was written by Lee Wannell with story by James Wan and Lee Wannell. It stars Carrie Elway. Is that how you say it?
I think Elwes.
Carrie Elwes, Danny Glover, Monica Potter, Michael Emerson, Ken Lung, Tobin Bell, and Lee Wannell. Wait, who's Lee Wannell?
Adam.
Oh, okay. Well, they should have hired somebody different. I'll say that. I'm sorry, I feel so mean today. Cinematography by David A. Armstrong, edited by Kevin Grudert, with music by Charlie Clouser. It was released January 19th, 2004 at Sundance and October 29th, 2004 in theaters, with a runtime of 103 minutes. Too long. It does drag, I think, a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I would agree.
So, man, I had a lot of issues with this film, from the cinematography to the acting to the story, to the all of it. So please bear with me. I might be kind of annoying. Well, our friend Adam wakes up in a bathtub and we can see a little light go down the drain. Now, here's my first problem. How is that thing not supposed to go down the drain? Tell me that. Okay, let me start. Jigsaw's whole thing in all the movies is like, well, you're here, but you kind of deserve to be. My point is, if the movie conveyed Jigsaw as if like, this guy's a fucking psycho and he has a strange moral compass and he claims to have the moral high ground, but he doesn't really. I would think that's pretty interesting that this guy trying to play God, maybe a la like Death Note or something. But no, I feel like the movie wants us to kind of be like, well, he's got a point. And he doesn't. At any moment, I don't think any of these people deserve this. And all of the reasonings given are bad. And I wish that it was more conveyed of like, this is bullshit. But I think we're supposed to kind of be like, well, no, well. So Adam wakes up in a disgusting bathroom. Lawrence also wakes up. Now, this guy's got to get an award for worst American accent of all time. And maybe a Razzie for worst acting of all time. He's so bad. Adam is bad too in a different way. But okay, Lawrence wakes up. These are two guys on, different sides of the coin. Adam kind of seems like a loser, and Lawrence is a surgeon who's kind of like, well, we need to figure this out. And Adam's just like, who are you? What's going on? There's just a dead guy in the middle of the floor, seemingly dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Now, it's a movie, so we're not supposed to ask questions like this, but you have to wonder if Lawrence is a surgeon. You'd think he's seen like a dead body before and like knows maybe what they look like and smell like. So maybe would be able to tell if this wasn't a dead body, maybe. But Adam, makes sense that he doesn't know. So anyways, just put a pin in that. In his hands, he's got a recorder and a gun. And now I also would like this movie more if it felt more like an escape room, because sometimes it does feel like they're in a cute little escape room. I wish they leaned into that more. So they both try to figure out why they're there. They can't really remember anything, and they don't seemingly have no connection to the other. They both have tapes that say "Play Me," and so Adam is able to take off his shirt and get the tape player, Adam's tape, basically. And we get, it's so classic by now, the Saw like voice. He's like, Adam, you've lived your life in the shadows. Like, well, will you watch as you die? Lawrence's tape, it basically is just like, Lawrence, you're a surgeon. Kill Adam by 6 p.m. We don't know really, because again, why? Oh, so Adam's like a loser. Well, I guess he should die for it.
So we'll kind of learn the kind of like main motivation for Jigsaw's putting all these people in these traps later. But yeah, for Adam, it's kind of tough to tell like what his big sin is. I guess he's just not making the most of his life or something.
Which pisses me off, because who are you to say, right? Like, that's so, you might as well be like Adam's grandma being like, and why haven't you had grandchildren yet? Like, maybe Adam's happy. Maybe he likes being a loser. We don't know. Another issue with this movie is that these characters aren't important. There's a lot of them that you have to keep track of, but none of them, they have a basic personality, but it's the plot that drives everything. And the plot is bad and stupid. So it's tough, I think. I think this movie would feel better if we got glimpses into their lives a little bit. Like if I liked or cared about either of them, which I don't. But I guess that's kind of the point, is later in the movies, in later films, when they just go to complete slop, we just have to be like, yes, get your arms ripped off. Yes. And that would be tough if there was nuance. Though I disagree. I think that would make it more painful to watch anyways. So X marks the spot for treasure, or your family will die. Now, what did his family do to deserve dying? Nothing.
Right.
There is a woman and a child. I think their crime was being a wife and a daughter.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't have done that. I really can't stand when a plot point is, hey, man, I will hurt woman and that will hurt you. We got to stop doing it. So again, it's an escape room kind of. So in the tape, it says something like at the end, like, follow your heart. So there's a heart drawn in shit on the toilet next to Adam. So Lawrence is like, hey, check out the toilet. First, he stupidly checks like the toilet bowl, and it's just obviously like doo-doo shit. And, you know, Lawrence is like, is there anything in there? Nothing solid. He goes, well, how about you check the tank? Oh, well, there are 2 saws. Get it? In the tank. And there's also like a bag. And we see Adam kind of look in the bag and then throw it in the tub. So you can tell something's going to happen. They both stupidly try to saw off their chains. And it's the rustiest saw you've ever seen. It's not going to work out. Adam's saw breaks. So he throws the saw at the mirror and it breaks off a piece. He realizes, oh, it's a double-sided mirror. Throws more stuff at the mirror and it breaks. Okay. So now we get more background on Saw. Now, here's a thing that the cinematographer loves to do, which is anytime you see a Saw trap, it's green. It's always got to be green, toned. And he just does this thing where it's like the camera spins around super fast and whoever the actor is just like shakes their head violently. So it's just like, whoa, it's crazy. Like, and I think the first time it's kind of like, okay, but this happens like 3 or 4 times in the movie. And at a certain point you're like, oh, you're going to do you're spinning again. Okay. You're going to do that thing where you spin again. So we get our first guy, like we get the cops investigating. And I do think this part looks cool. It's like this whole razor wire, like maze looking thing. And this guy who's like just completely caught in it. They more so give us like, you know, I think at first they're doing a good job of telling instead of showing, which is sometimes more powerful in a horror movie, though then they do end up showing. But, you know, they say, oh, this guy cut himself so deep. Like there was stomach acid on the floor. There was like a jigsaw cut out on his flesh. Oh, it's the jigsaw killer. So I forget what this guy's crime against humanity was.
Attempted suicide.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, Jigsaw, you know, tells him like, you attempt to kill yourself with a razor. Well, now you're going to have to cut yourself with a razor if you want to live, bro. Like, why can't you attack like the mental health care system? You made it so that people could go to therapy. But instead you're gonna like punish this guy for being depressed. Okay. It's just such like, I'm 13 and this is deep logic, where you can see a 13-year-old Mac maybe being like, you know, he's got you there, and he doesn't have anybody anywhere. He's just a psycho. So now we get another guy. This guy, what was the arson? Was it arson or something? It's like one guy.
I don't know what his sin was.
He was covered in a flammable substance. To get out the combination, well, it's on the wall, but there's like 1 million numbers on the wall. He's got to use a little lighter. but don't let it get too close. You're covered in a flammable substance. And then he lights himself on fire. I did think that scene looked cool. Like, we got him like rushing around, the fire catches, and then it like jump cuts to like his charred corpse.
Mm-hmm.
All right, respect. That looks pretty cool. We get a flashback to Lawrence. He's discussing his patient. Who's the patient? We don't know yet. He says, like, this guy, I hate this scene too, because we're supposed to, I guess, think Lawrence is like a piece of shit fucking asshole for this crime he did. What's the crime, you ask? Well, the patient was there in the bed, and Lawrence is teaching new surgeons of America how, you know, like anybody has to do. And he's like, this guy's got an inoperable brain tumor. He should die for that, actually, because does he even know that that guy's name is John? Well, Zepp the orderly does. He goes, actually, his name's John. He's very interesting. Now, I paused. I said to Alan, you know what would have made me on Jigsaw's side? If he had been like, last year, a woman came to you complaining of pain. She'd been in pain for 20 years. You said it was all in her head. Turns out she had painful endometriosis. Like, then I'd be like, yes, get his ass. But his crime was teaching students and not being like, this widow guy right here is John, guys. Everybody say, hi, John. He's going to die soon. Like, what was he supposed to do?
I don't think it was that. I think he's flirting with the young student.
And this is true, and that is wrong. But they do make a point to be Zepp being like, his name is John. He's very interesting. And I feel like secretly John was like, you're going to die for this. Your crime, I wanted Jell-O. You would not tell the nurse to give me Jell-O. I went without Jell-O 3 evenings. It's just so fun doing the Saw voice because WoHos, I'm doing a great impersonation is the thing. So Lawrence is like, well, the cops thought I did it. I was the Jigsaw killer because his pen light was found at the scene. Now, how little did the cops have? Because I take every pen from every doctor's office. So if I kill somebody and like my dentist's pen is there, they're going to be like, it's him. Mm-hmm. We've got no DNA evidence, but your pen was there. So seems pretty flimsy to me. I don't even think he should have been held, but I am no lawyer. But then he has to reveal, this whole point is because he has to reveal his alibi was he was with his mistress. That was a whole 5 months ago. Guys, if you cheat on your wife, you should be killed. And so should your wife and daughter, though. Yes. So then we also find out there was one victim who escaped, Amanda. I do think this is one of the most iconic scenes and or traps.
Yes.
Amanda, she's kind of like, you know, she's got like scars a little bit on her face. She becomes a recurring character in the series. She's very important. Her trap, I don't remember what her crime was either. She's a drug addict. How dare she? She's got a reverse bear trap. And the idea is like, and this is where we get one of the first images of Billy, the little doll. It's on a grainy TV. And like when it plays, he's like, I want to play a game. And, you know, he's basically like, you're a druggie. You deserve to die for it. And you've got this reverse bear trap. Here's what it's going to do. You don't really see it do anything. It's just on like a poly or like a packing peanut-esque styrofoam head. And it just explodes. So she's like, fuck. And he's like, well, you need to get the key out of your dead cellmate. So when she first we got to have our customary camera goes around really fast. She like shakes her head. It looks very creepy. She gets up. Oh, now it starts the timer. So she scrambles. First, she kind of freaks out a little bit more, wastes time, finds the dead cellmate, lifts up his shirt. There's a giant question mark on his stomach. He's not dead. What did he do? I don't know. I think he probably jaywalked at some point. And that was very bad. So she's like, she kills him. You know, we get a really cool, I did like the guts and stuff. Her hands are all red. He's somehow a whole bag is inside of this man, and she gets the key off, gets the device just as it's about to go. And so now we flash back. She's, you know, in the detention center. And I don't know why, like, the cops want Lawrence to see this. That doesn't make sense, but it's just so we get plot. So, you know, she's like, yes, I'm a drug addict. And they ask her, you know, do you feel grateful? And she's like, he helped me. Keep an eye on her, guys. If somebody says that, they might help him for like 3 movies.
Yeah.
I like the concept in theory that it's like, okay, you know, maybe some people, like a cult leader, they got nothing, and this would be like, wow, I have a will to live now. But what about the guy she took the key out of his stomach from? What did he do? It's so dumb. Like, and what did like, yeah, she almost died, but like what she had to do to live was disembowel a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like what is that? What did she learn? I should kill people to survive is what she learned.
Yes. That's a great lesson. Yeah. I hadn't thought about that guy too much. I just figured he was guilty of something.
He didn't say good morning one day when John went to the bakery. So bet he's regretting that decision. So get back to the present. Adam threatens Lawrence and then discovers the mirror is 2-way. He breaks it, and then we see like the POV of what we think might be the killer watching the men on a grainy monitor. And, you know, the guy watching is like, I can't help you. And Adam's like, oh, it's reality TV. I mean, this guy's dumb, but so they kind of have a sweet moment. Lawrence is like, this is my wife and child. And he's like, actually, behind that picture is my favorite picture of all of us. Now, how did Jigsaw know that? We don't know. But when Adam tries to look there, that photo's not there. It's actually a photo of his wife and daughter bound and gagged, and a note that says, sometimes you see better with your eyes closed. Now, again, this is an escape room. That would be so clutch if you got that in the escape room. You'd be like searching for the hint everywhere, and then you're like, guys, we have to turn off the lights. Oh my God. But he chooses not to tell Lawrence. You know, he's just like, well, it's so weird. The photo's not here. And he just keeps that one and throws the wallet back. So then we have, you know, a moment where we see Lawrence's daughter. She tells, you know, her mom, there's a man in the closet. Is this where we get the full flashback? Okay. Yes. So yeah, she's, you know, I think Lawrence is regretting not being there. She had been like, Mommy, there's a guy. Can you help me? Mom's just kind of like, oh, this kid. Well, go get your father. Lawrence is busy working, and he's like, I'll be there in a second. And I did like this because it kind of seems like it's a fake out of like, oh, he's working, so he didn't take her seriously. But he does get up and he checks, and then he like says goodnight. He doesn't check the damn closet, which like if I was a kid, I'd be like, open up the damn closet. There's a monster in there. If your kid comes to you and says, Mommy, there's a guy in the room, he talked to me, I think you'd be kind of scared.
Yeah, I do too. They're like, oh, you kid. You stupid idiot.
You dumb bitch. There's nothing there. We hate you. So then that night, so, you know, it's, and then, you know, when she's back in bed, she looks and we see an eye in the closet. It's Zepp, the orderly from before. Is he the killer? Well, he's being spied on by Detective Tapp, who now seems like a crazy person. He's
Mhm.
watching the video of Amanda's case, and he thinks he's found where she was held. And because, yeah, like he's got his partner Singh, who's like, we're all going out for dinner. Do you want to come with? And then Tap's like the ultimate boss, because he's like, actually, I just found something else. You actually have to come with me and do more work. So Tap and Singh, I mean, do they deserve everything? I'm not saying they do, but are they the dumbest cops in the world? Yes, because we've got a serial killer who likes to play a game, and they're like, let's just go in. Let's not get a warrant. And Singh actually is like, should we get one? And Tap's like, nope. Okay. It's less about the warrant, guys. It's more like, don't die from something stupid. So they find this creepy warehouse, and they find a cute little model a la Hereditary, kind of the tiled room. And they're just kind of like, what the fuck's this? But we're like, that's them! That's Lawrence and Adam! They find the jigsaw doll, and then they hear like and it's a guy with like a sheet over him with like 2 drills next to his head. So the killer sets off the trap, but only one key will stop it. So Tap's like, Singh, you take it. I'll fucking kill this guy. But Singh is literally like a cartoon. He's like, there's so many keys. So then he just like shoots the, like, just should have done that at first. Like, he just shoots the mechanism. Tap has his gun trained on the supposed killer, and he's like, you're sick. The killer is like, I'm sick to the disease that's killing me, and sick of those who don't appreciate their blessings. Bro, are you an incel? This is like such incel in a way, like ideology. And then he slits Tap's throat in a way that is somehow non-lethal. Singh chases after. He shoots the killer, but then he trips a wire, and there's all these rifles at the ceiling, and he just gets like shot to bits. And the killer lives somehow. So now Tap, we see him in his room full of photos and news articles and the scar on his neck. Now, something interesting, I used to be really into this game called Dead by Daylight. And part of the game is that they'll have licensed killers and survivors. And they have a jigsaw chapter. Amanda is the killer. And it's really cool because she's got like this pig mask, and like she'll put a bear trap on you. But the survivor they have is Detective Tap. And that's crazy to me. Like, he's such a non-character to me. But I was like, oh, he must live, because one of his abilities in the game, like, he's like holding his hand against his throat and there's blood, and it's called like, you know, surviving. It's something about surviving even when you've been hit. So from that, I was like, oh yeah, he must live because he's in the game.
Oh wow.
So back in the room.
I would think he would have to survive because he's such a big star.
That's true. Yeah. But yeah, they do just kind of get rid of him. So back in the room, they turn off the lights and they see an X on the wall. Lawrence smashes the wall. They find a box. Inside, there's a flip phone, 2 cigarettes, and a lighter, and a note. The note says, cigarettes don't kill except when they end in bloodshed. He doesn't need a gun to kill Adam. And he can't make outgoing calls on the phone. Also, part of the earlier message was that the guy in front of them supposedly died of like a blood toxin or something.
Right.
So then, flashback to the night before, as Lawrence is like kind of remembering, a man in a horse mask lay in wait for Lawrence and attacked him. Adam reveals the Polaroid of Lawrence's family bound and gagged. And Lawrence rereads the note, then dips the cigarette filter in the blood to supposedly poison Adam. But he makes a plan with Adam so that they can shut off the light, whisper, so that, Zep or the viewer of the video can't tell what the plan is. And so the idea is Adam's going to smoke the cigarette pretend to choke to death. Okay, then they'll be set free. Well, first off, Adam does like, I don't know if it's supposed to be the worst performance of his life, but like it's, I mean, it's like comical. Like he's like, like, and like falls to the ground. Then Lawrence is like, I killed him. He's dead. But then Adam gets electrocuted through his chain, which is actually pretty smart on the killer's part. And it is funny because Lawrence just doesn't believe he's getting electrocuted at first. He's like, he's like, hey, stop. Like, you're doing too much now. And he's like, I'm not, I just got electrocuted. So then Adam's like, I remember everything. Last night he fell asleep in his dark room. So we get a kind of cool scene of him walking through the dark room. It's the classic use the camera flash to see where you're going. And I like the sound of like the ding, like of each like camera flash. We hear the jigsaw doll laughing. Adam bashes it with a baseball bat. He flashes inside his closet. We just see like one little glimpse of the attacker, and he has been attacked. Well, the escape room is going to end in 25 minutes. This is when you really got to start picking up the pace, guys. The cell phone rings. It's Diana and Allie, the wife and child. Allie says not to believe Adam's lies. He knew about Lawrence before this. So Lawrence is like, what the fuck? Adam is like, well, yeah, I have been photographing you. And we get a flashback. Lawrence, after the supposed like, or I think it was like that night when he was like, you know, oh, Allie did see somebody in her room. Lawrence was going to go to the hotel to cheat on his wife. But when he gets there, he doesn't have sex with the student. He gets a phone call. It says like, I know what you're doing, doctor. And Tap actually hired Adam to take pictures. And in one of them, Zep can be seen. This shit is so complicated for no reason.
Yeah.
Like all this, I didn't even remember, I'll be honest, because it's so stupid. And if you're making a movie, I just think the simplest thing is best. But this whole like, well, actually, he knows you. And there's no moment where we're like, what? Guys, Adam actually took photos of him. Like, you don't feel like that because it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. It could have just been like, I mean, we don't need this plot point at all.
Shave 10 minutes off. Now we're the perfect time. But it's 6 p.m. They're out of time. Oh no. Well, Allie's gotten loose. Zep makes Allie call Lawrence. This is one of my favorite scenes because the acting by Carrie is so bad. Because when I replayed it 5 times, when he gets the phone call back, he picks it up and he's like, Zep, you fucking bastard. I'll kill you. I'll kill you. Allie goes like, Lawrence. And he goes, Allie. Like his voice just changes immediately. And I just kept being like, Allie all night. She's a boss. She overcomes Zep. There's a struggle, gunshots. Tap gets alerted. He breaks into the house and fights with Zep. He's still the most useless guy ever. In the room, Lawrence gets electrocuted. And then Adam's only response is like, I told you I wasn't lying. Zep gets into a shootout with Tap. The phone's ringing, but Lawrence can't get to it. Lawrence just like freaks the fuck out, and we get the iconic scene where he saws through his foot. Now, I do think this scene is cool. We get him like, you know, tying a little tourniquet. He's also got his shirt like in his mouth, and he's like, and like sawing his foot off. I think that's a pretty great scene. All of this is just to get to the cell phone. I mean, he could have taken off his shirt and done the whole throw it at the cell phone and get it, but he didn't think about that. Tap punches Zep, but Zep shoots and kills Tap. Oh no. Lawrence shoots Adam. This is also very funny because yes, Lawrence is still attached by a chain, but Adam is still attached by a chain, but Lawrence is actively bleeding out, shaky, and somehow he doesn't miss. That I thought was so funny because Adam's just like, don't shoot me, and stays right in front of him. Like, jump out of the way, bro. Lawrence's family is actually completely safe. He does not have to freak out like this. They're at a neighbor's house, so they actually are just fine without him. Lawrence is like, I did it. Like, I killed Adam, but Zepp is there. I don't know how close the house is to this.
That's that was my issue. Is it like right next door?
And nobody heard anything? Like,
that was crazy.
Because Zepp is there in like 2 seconds flat.
Yeah. Doesn't take him any time at all.
Doesn't have to drive. Like, and Zepp's like, it's too late. That's the rules. Adam is actually not dead. He kills Zepp with a toilet tank lid, just bashing him over and over again. Lawrence crawls to Adam. We get more insane acting. I mean, also, they've just painted this guy's face white, and he looks scary. This is actually the scariest part, is the acting and his face. Because he's like, Adam, it's okay. I've just shot you in the shoulder. Okay, so not only did he shoot Adam, but he aimed. That's crazy. Lawrence is like, I gotta go get help, or I will, and I'm gonna bleed to death, but I'm gonna get help for you. And then and it's so funny because he's crawling, and then it's like he turns and he's like, I'll be back. Like, Adam looks for the key on Zepp's body, but he finds a recorder. Zepp was also a victim of Jigsaw. He should have mopped that room better.
Yes.
What was his problem?
So I guess also acting poison inside of his body. So would he die or would he kill the woman and child?
Crazy conundrum to give somebody. Like, what would that would also teach him? I should kill women to live.
Yes.
Like, Amanda was taught I should kill men to live. Zepp was taught I should kill a wife and child to live. You didn't mop up my room as best you could have. Therefore, it was kind of slippery. So the body in the middle of the floor rises. We're supposed to go, what? And he rips off this like latex on his head. It was the old guy in the bed. Oh my God. He leaves Adam in the room. He also is like the key for, okay, he straight up does like a cat cow pose in yoga. Like he like gets up and he looks crazy. He's like, by the way, the key's in the bathtub. Oh, that light we saw in the beginning that went down the bath, that was, well, he just should have known while he was drowning to not let that happen. He goes to the door and he goes, game over, and shuts the door on Adam, who's like, oh no. And then the movie ends and we're all like, thank God it's over. So, director James Wan wanted the insane camera movements to reflect the two main characters' emotions and personality. So instead of giving them one, he was like, I'll just make the camera go really fast. He filled Dr. Gordon with steady, controlled shots and Adam with handheld shots to capture their emotions of the situation. Guys, we don't need acting anymore. You can just make one camera shaky and one of them steady. And that's all you got to do. The car chase was filmed in the garage of the warehouse by turning off the lights, adding some fog, and shaking the cars while filming from the front. There were no exterior shots in the film because the production team could not afford them. Well, I did think at one point when he was in this parking garage, I was like, this is not a parking garage. Like, he's in a parking garage with like a wooden frame.
Yes.
Yeah. According to James Wan, the construction of Billy the Puppet's face for this film involved clay, paper mache, and black ping pong balls with the irises painted. Paper towel rolls were used internally. To make him move, the puppeteers pulled him along on a fishing line. Cool. Well, briefly, what does Letterboxd have to say about it? They give it 5 stars. The way this movie shook me as a 10-year-old. I would agree. Though, if we're like 10-year-olds will think this is crazy, does not beget a 5-star rating. Okay, this next review is, I'm going to crash out from this review. Kimberly gave it 5 stars. Lee Wannell and Carrie Elwes sell every desperate second. Lie. While Tobin Bell turns a small role into one of the horror's most iconic villains. I do think, is that the old guy?
Yeah.
He's the best actor in the series. Though he's not really in this one, but the gritty, green-tinged look, sharp editing, and that iconic score make it feel urgent and unsettling even now. It's not just a torture movie. It's a master class in mystery horror structure. Bro. Heavily disagree. Watch more movies. Autumn gave it 5 stars. I'm very sick, so I watched this to remind myself that my day could be much worse. I made my day worse by watching this. Well, here's the people I agree with. Jay gave it a 0.5 star. The only ones playing games were in that damn editing bay. Yep. Mads 18 gave it a 0.5 star. We literally stopped watching after 40 minutes. This was horrific and my heart rate increased by 30 beats per minute. We had a pulse oximeter. That's funny. Annie Eliza gave it a 0.5 star. Such arse. That's the arse review. Well, how would we rate it? Hours of my life I won't get back. I'll give it 2 hours.
I'd give it 3.
How did you feel about it?
But I was into it, actually. I thought it was pretty entertaining.
I don't know what was wrong with me yesterday or today, but just both these movies, I was like, some movies are not good. I was yearning for like Alan got me like a Blu-ray of Parasite, and I just kept thinking I could be watching the Blu-ray of Parasite right now.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what have we learned? You better be perfect.
That's right. Don't screw up at all.
And who's the judge of that? An old white man dying of cancer.
Value your life, or you could be tortured.
Or make sure your husband values his life, or you could be tortured. If you are a woman, it is what you deserve. Would we watch again?
Probably not.
I hope I do to make my money worth it.
Yes.
Favorite scene and or kill?
I have to say, the actor Michael Emerson, who plays Zepp, I think he's really good. And he's really creepy, and he sort of made a career out of playing little creepos. And I think he's really good and pretty scary. So I think anytime he's around, it's a good scene.
Yeah. I'll say the reverse bear trap, I think, is my favorite scene.
Mm-hmm.
And also the final game over, I think that was is what everybody remembers, I think. So that was pretty good. Who wins the You Fool Award? Lawrence?
Yeah, I guess so. He didn't value his life, and he wasn't nice enough to his patient.
So don't cheat on your wife, and, know that his name is John, and he's very interesting.
Well, thank you, Mac, for having this conversation with me about Cube and Saw. And thank you, WoHos, for joining us and for all your support. It means the world of horror to us truly. We appreciate you downloading the show and telling all your friends all about us. Next time, what will we be looking at, Mac? We've got folk horror, dolls, psychological horror, or comedy?
Dolls.
Okay, that means we'll be watching The DOLLMASTER from South Korea and Magic from the US. Remember, WoHos, we love you. And don't go into the basement.